The world of espionage is shrouded in secrecy. Few operations are as clandestine and controversial as Project Artichoke. Initiated by the CIA in the early 1950s, Project Artichoke delved into the murky depths of mind control. The project's objective was simple yet terrifying: to explore ways to manipulate human behavior for intelligence purposes. The CIA believed that enemies were using mind control techniques against American soldiers. They wanted to develop their own methods for defense and offense. Project Artichoke aimed to create methods for extracting information from resistant subjects. They also wanted to make individuals carry out acts against their will. The project involved a range of techniques, from hypnosis to the use of mind-altering drugs. It was a dark chapter in the CIA's history. The agency went to great lengths to keep its activities hidden from the public. The ramifications of Project Artichoke are still felt today. It serves as a chilling reminder of the potential for government overreach in the pursuit of national security. The quest to control the human mind raises profound ethical and legal questions that continue to haunt us. I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, where I am creating an eclectic and thought-provoking library of videos for inquisitive minds. So subscribe and share with like-minded groups of friends. I think you're gonna like this one, so here we go. Project Artichoke did not emerge in a vacuum. It was born out of the Cold War, a period of intense paranoia and suspicion between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both superpowers were locked in an ideological battle. Both sides were desperately seeking ways to gain an advantage over the other. The CIA, still in its infancy, was tasked with countering Soviet intelligence operations. The agency was willing to explore unconventional and often unethical methods to achieve its goals. Mind control, with its potential to extract information and manipulate behavior, became an area of intense interest. Key figures like Alan Dulles, the director of Central Intelligence, and Sidney Gottlieb, the head of the technical services staff, played instrumental roles in launching and shaping Project Artichoke. These men, driven by a combination of patriotism, paranoia, and a chillingly pragmatic approach to morality, authorized experiments that would push the boundaries of medical ethics and human rights. Their decisions would have lasting consequences, casting a long shadow over the CIA and its legacy. For years, Project Artichoke remained a closely guarded secret, hidden from public scrutiny and congressional oversight. However, rumors of the CIA's mind control experiments began to surface in the 1970s. This was fueled by a growing distrust of the government in the wake of the Watergate scandal. In 1975, a Senate committee led by Senator Frank Church launched an investigation into the CIA's activities. The Church Committee's findings were shocking, revealing a pattern of illegal activities, including assassination plots, domestic spying, and mind control experiments. The revelations about Project Artichoke sent shockwaves through the nation. The public was outraged that their government would engage in such unethical and illegal activities. The CIA's reputation was tarnished, and the agency faced intense scrutiny and criticism. The legacy of Artichoke, MKUltra, and beyond. While Project Artichoke was officially terminated in the mid-1950s, its legacy continued to haunt the CIA for decades to come. The agency's fascination with mind control did not end with Artichoke. Instead, it morphed into an even more extensive and secretive program known as MKUltra. MKUltra, launched in 1953, picked up where Artichoke left off, expanding the CIA's research into mind control and behavior modification. The program involved a vast network of researchers, institutions, and unwitting subjects, all kept hidden from public view. MKUltra employed a dizzying array of techniques, including hypnosis, drugs, sensory deprivation, and psychological torture, all in the pursuit of the elusive goal of mind control. MKUltra's existence remained a secret until 1975, when a cache of documents, inadvertently overlooked during a previous records purge, came to light during the Church Committee hearings. The revelations about MKUltra's scope and depravity shocked the nation and further eroded public trust in the CIA, but they continued to conduct covert human experimentation. Over the decades, there have been many people who have come out as victims of government mind control programs. Kathy O'Brien is a prominent figure in the realm of mind control. I first encountered her about 15 years ago, and her claims of being a victim of the CIA's MKUltra program have remained consistent over the years. O'Brien details her experiences in her book, Transformation of America, where she describes being subjected to severe abuse and manipulation by government agents. I'll put a link in description to Kathy's book where she describes being subjected to sexual abuse from a young age by her father and later by high-ranking government officials and other influential individuals. Physical torture designed to create dissociative identity disorder to compartmentalize and control her mind. This dissociative identity is a very common technique, and you can see it manifested in many celebrities like Miley Cyrus, aka Hannah Montana, and Beyoncé, aka Sasha Fierce. Then there is what happens when they break their programming and want to get off the highway to hell. You've seen that in Britney Spears, Amanda Bynes, Mel Gibson, and many more. Another mind control technique which Kathy endured was drug administration. According to O'Brien, various drugs were used to alter her consciousness, induce compliance, and facilitate programming. She also reports that hypnosis was employed to implant false memories and commands, furthering the control over her actions and thoughts. Psychological manipulation with various techniques, including isolation, sensory deprivation, and exposure to extreme stress, all intended to break down her will and reinforce programming. Kathy O'Brien is not a one-off. There are many others who have lived to tell, including Paul Bonacci, Ken Kesey, the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Then there's Robert Hunter, who collaborated with the Grateful Dead's Jerry Garcia in writing. Hunter credits the government for turning him on to LSD. From the brainwashing techniques depicted in George Orwell's book 1984 to the Manchurian Candidate's ability to carry out assassinations on command, mind control has become a potent symbol of totalitarian control and the erosion of individual will. Check out the shop button and I'll put some cool links to more info. While the CIA's experiments in mind control may seem like something out of a Hollywood thriller, the reality is that our minds have not been our own for a very long time. Officially, government mind control studies in the United States trace their origins back to the early Cold War era. One of the earliest and most notable programs was Project Bluebird, initiated by the CIA in 1950, which preceded Project Artichoke. So studies into mind control have been going on covertly since 1950. That's 75 years. I wonder if these studies have extended from unsuspecting soldiers and prisoners to an unsuspecting world population. That's for you to decide. Lessons learned: safeguarding human rights in the age of science. Project Artichoke stands as a chilling reminder of the potential for abuse of power in the name of national security. The ethical and legal violations committed by the CIA during this era serve as a cautionary tale about the importance of safeguarding human rights, even in the face of perceived threats. The lessons learned from Project Artichoke and its successor, MKUltra, extend far beyond the realm of Cold War espionage. How far should they be allowed to go, and who chooses where that limit is? Programs such as Project Artichoke and MKUltra highlight the need for greater transparency and accountability in government, and scientific research and independent sources should provide ethical guidelines and observation to protect the rights of individuals. The quest for knowledge and the pursuit of national security must never come at the expense of human dignity and freedom. Project Artichoke serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of vigilance in protecting the fundamental rights that define our humanity. Project Artichoke and the enduring question of control. Project Artichoke, a shadowy relic of the Cold War, continues to fascinate and horrify us decades after its termination. The quest to control the human mind, once confined to the realms of science fiction, became a chilling reality in the clandestine laboratories of the CIA. The agency's experiments have left an indelible mark on the history of espionage, medical ethics, and the public's perception of government power. Yet the same three-letter agencies are able to continue such secretive programs without oversight. Project Artichoke serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of safeguarding individual liberties, regardless of the narrative. Our safety is usually the excuse we are given for restrictive control measures. After 9/11, the Patriot Act was passed under the auspices of our country's ability to monitor criminal and terrorist communications. The Fourth Amendment protected us against unlawful searches, but we blissfully sat by and allowed the FBI to obtain private information without any form of judicial review through the enactment of the Patriot Act, It was really an ingenious way to get a law passed that gave them so much power to spy on citizens. To catch the people when they are so vulnerable and fearful is a hallmark to gaining control. Look at the control that was gained with COVID-19. Forced vaccines and mask mandates, geographic and travel restrictions, lockdowns. I knew people who weren't even allowed to visit loved ones. If people don't realize that COVID-19 was the ultimate loss of freedom, then they really are lambs being led to the slaughter. It kind of makes me wonder who really creates the fear. In case you don't understand, learn about Edward Snowden, who the media and some of our leaders branded as a traitor for exposing their unlawful collection of mass amounts of information on every American. You have no privacy, and you don't even know it or you don't care. Which is it, guys? Do you want to decide what is safe for you and your loved ones, or do you want your government to think for you? I do care. I care that programs are being paid for with my money to infiltrate my thoughts and consequently my free will, and they haven't stopped. Watch the movie Minority Report, and I'm sure there are others that describe thought police. The concept was described by George Orwell in the book 1984. Our government and others have the ability to read and manipulate our thoughts. One overt manipulation of the human mind is Neuralink, a brain-to-computer interface associated with Elon Musk that I did a video on. I'll link the video in the description. Whether we want to ignore it or not, technology has gotten Orwellian, and it's scary as hell to think who might have control over it. A fundamental trait of honesty and integrity is to protect free will. Any government that authorizes and supports programs that use any sort of mind control or erosion of free will has crossed over the line from democracy to oppression. Our freedom is fragile, and there are many illusions in our world. Many pretenders and hypocrites are trying to control our minds and cause us to do things that just don't feel right. When we are in alignment with the universe, we are not angry or fearful. We do not compromise what is right, and we do not delegate the precious gift of free will to anyone. Comprehensive and meaningful transparency with the people allows them to make the free choice that our forefathers fought for. Instead, we accept secrecy and downright lies to convince us to attack others because they exercise their free will. Forget parties, forget tradition, forget the need to be right. Listen instead of speaking. Quiet your mind. Contemplate things that are happening and trust your heart, not your gut. The region of your heart is your connection to the Creator. Don't ever let anyone take that connection away from you. Till next time. Remember that conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. By John F. Kennedy.